Hi, my magical creatures, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is I'm going to talk about my embarrassing coming out stories to men video. So basically, I'm going to be talking about me coming out and kind of like the embarrassing parts, I guess, when you come out to somebody. So before we begin, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, a like, and don't forget to subscribe. It's the free way to help your girl out. All right, let's get started. All right, so I'm gonna talk about this this funny story, like this little mini story time. So basically, I was driving back from Sacramento and I was on the bridge, and basically, what happened? I was driving on the bridge and then like I was stuck in traffic, like I mean dead traffic. So I'm just sitting there, whatever. I have my windows rolled down, and for some reason, like in the summertime, like every time I have my windows rolled down and like I'm stopped, like guys always be trying to like holler and just be like, give me your number, you're hot, da 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 da. Like seriously, no cap. And so this time I was on the freeway, so I was like on the bridge, it's just bumper to bumper traffic, stuff like that. But on my right side is like the fast lane. The fast lane kind of like the traffic was like moving a little bit more quicker, you know? So all of a sudden I look to my left, you guys, and I see like these two men in a car, and they just looking at me. They honked their horn to get my attention, and so they just looking at me like, yo mommy, like what's up, like you gonna give me them digits, you gonna give me that number. So I'm just looking at them like, oh my god. So I'm just, and like they're literally like they are holding up all of the traffic, by the way, remind you. So there's nothing but hella space and like so much like there's no traffic on the other side, but they're holding up all the traffic just to talk to me, which is like, oh my god, like you guys are gonna get like beat up or something. So of course there's people like honking their horns and stuff telling them to go and stuff, but they're just like desperate to get my number and stuff. So I'm just looking at them. I'm just like, why do you want my number? Like, stop, you know? And they're literally like, come on, like, what you doing? Like, come on, you gonna give me them digits or not? And I'm just like, boys, stop. You play too much. Like, you crazy, stuff like that. So, I said, is it okay if I give you my number even though, like, I was born a guy? And then they literally looked at me and they were like, and then they just drove off. Like you hear, like they just drove off. Like I was dead. I was laughing. Like I was laughing so hard, and oh my god, that was crazy. That was a little crazy story time. I'm glad that there was no traffic on their end because that would have been really awkward, and they were like next to me. Like that would have been a little dangerous. But yeah. So another like coming out like story time was I was literally like, so I was living at my last place, and there was a solar powered guy that was there. Oh my god, you guys, he was fine as hell. Like I mean, muscular, tall, young. Ooh, girl, he was so fine. But my roommate, she wanted to mess around with him or whatever, and so of course she's like in her 50s, like she old. So and he's like 20, like in his late 20s. I'm in my late 20s. So it's like, okay, come on now. So she out there talking, telling her whole life story to him and all that. And I come out, he sees me, I see him, and I just make a little comment about some, oh, like quit messing with him, like geez, quit flirting with him, like he busy, like stuff like that, you know. So of course, I drive off my car. So we talk. I'm out there hanging out with them too, so I'm just talking and stuff, being goofy or whatever. So they say no. He comes back the next day, I guess, and so I guess she didn't get approved for the solar power thing for her house. So she leaves or whatever. I go outside to get something on my car. He's there. He's like, "Hey, Goddess Serenity, like, I think you're like really pretty and stuff. Like, would you like to go out sometime? Stuff like that." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Like, I'm down. Like, So I give him my number, whatever. So we just talking and stuff, and then I just tell him flat out, like, look, like I don't want any problems or anything like that, but because I'm just like over like guys taking me out on dates and stuff, and then like not telling them I'm trans and stuff. Like, I'm just kind of like upfront about it now. I'm just like, look, I'm trans. Like, if you still want to like go out, like, cool. If not, then like whatever. So I told him, I just said, look, I don't want any problems or anything, but you have my number, so you don't have to give me yes or no right now. But like, if you hit me up, then cool. If not, I understand. But I am transgender, and stuff like that, and I just think it's out of respect. I'm just letting you know, like, what's up, so he basically was like frozen solid, like was totally speechless, totally like not did not know what to say. He was like, I never would have thought in a million years you were transgender. Like, he said, oh my god, like, because I had no makeup on. Like, I literally had just got out of the shower. Like, I had no makeup on, my hair was wet, stuff like that. And then he's just like, wow, like, he just didn't know what to say. And I was like, he's like, are you sure, like, you're not playing with me? I said, no, I'm not joking. So then he was like, okay, like, whoa. So he was nice to me. He didn't attack me or anything. So he goes sits in his car or whatever. And then I just basically, I go back into my car getting my stuff. He was sitting there for like the whole time when I was getting my stuff, because it took me a minute to find my stuff in the car. And then next thing I know, like, as soon as I get my stuff, I leave. I go back in the house. He just, that's when he just drove off, and he never hit me up. So I guess he was just like, oh my God. Yeah, that was crazy. Um, so yeah, so another like crazy story, like another like interesting like story time of me coming out as trans. I was at the doctor's office, you guys, and so I was getting like you know how when they like do like your vitals, do like your checkups and stuff like that. So the nurse, it was a male nurse too. He literally like asks me, he's like, "Okay, like, are you pregnant?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "When was the last time you had your period?" I was like, "I don't get those." And he's like, "What? Why?" And I was like, "'Cause I'm trans, like I was born a guy." And then he's literally looking at me, he's like, what? Like, doesn't it show on my computer screen that I'm trans or something? But yeah, he literally was just like, he just looked at me like, and then he was like, wow, you're really pretty. And I was like, thanks. That was so awkward, you guys. I was just like, oh my God, like, this was too much. Um, yeah. And then also, too, like, another embarrassing story time, too. Like, um, I want to say like dang, I know there was like other times too where like I came out and stuff like that, but um yeah, but other than that, for now these were kind of like the little embarrassing. Okay, actually I do have like another one. So it was like, I think it was like 6 months in, my voice was still like really manly and deep and everything like that. So I had went and got a sew and weave in Sac. And so once I got my sew and weave and everything like that, you guys, like, I was so like I was just like felt a little uncomfortable because I'm not used to having long hair and stuff like that. So I go into JC Penney to get the time because my phone had died. So I went into JCPenney to figure out like what time it is. And the lady behind the counter, like, she sees me, she just says, "Oh, hi ma'am," like that. And then when I talked, I said, "Do you know like what time it is?" And like she literally looked at me and she was like, I'm like, "Hello, like, can you tell me like what time it is?" And then she's like, "It's like 2:15 p.m. in the afternoon." And I was like, all right, thanks. And then, like, oh my God, you guys, I was so embarrassed. Like, I was like really uncomfortable. I was super embarrassed, super scared, stuff like that. But yeah, so I basically went in my car and then went home and stuff like that. But, um, oh, and then also too, there was another crazy little story time too of me. Well, this time I think I was like outed being transgender. So basically, I'm at IKEA with my grandmother. So we're at IKEA, stuff like that. I'm having a good day, stuff like that. At this time, my grandmother was like misgendering me because I guess she had like a hard time accepting the fact I was like born a female, stuff like that. So I'm at IKEA, everything like that, and so we're at the food line at the food court at IKEA. I think I was getting like some Swedish meatballs or something like that. And she basically was like, "Oh, him, he will get the Swedish meatballs or something like that." And I was so embarrassed, you guys, because I had full face makeup on, I had a wig on, everything like that. I was dressed like a woman, like, hello. So the lady behind the counter was like, "Oh, you mean her?" And she's like, "No, him." And I was like, just standing there, like, super embarrassed. I was so mad at her, too. I was like, I didn't want to talk to her for the rest of the day. I was so mad. I was like, I just want to go home right now. So she's like, "Oh, yes, she can get the Swedish meatballs. Yes, like, the lady behind the counter knew what it was. Like, she knew what to do, how to handle it. Thank God for that lady. If you're watching this, you rock. Thank you. Um, but yeah. Um, Other than that, you guys, I'm out. I think this was like, I'm just gonna cut it like right here, but definitely these were like the most like little embarrassing story times of being outed as a trans person or me coming out as trans. Yeah, so don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I love you guys. Stay magical.